The locker room on Smooth 98.1. It's Tega, Omas, and Zibby with you this morning, 60 minutes past 8 a.m.
Good
Good morning,
morning, all.
Tega.
Thank God it's Friday. All right. Where do we start from? Okay, so good news. We'll talk a little bit this week about the weekend matches upcoming, especially with Manchester United flexing their muscles. Yes. And then we'll talk about Tottenham Hotspur. What happened to them? They were going so well at the start of the season. Then they gave him manager of the month, and he hasn't won since. What manner of course is that thing? So we'll touch a little bit on that. But first, let's discuss the African Footballer of the Year. Victor Osimhen is in the final three, but who else could have made it? Before we do all of that, tell us, how can we be a part of the locker room?
Easy, we're streaming live on YouTube, Smooth 981. You can catch the live stream and post a comment on there as well. You can also tweet at Smooth 981 or just send us a message via WhatsApp. It's 0809 440 981.
On that note, let's start with the headlines and then we'll take it through to the stories.
On the bill this morning comes Salah, Hakimi, and Osimhen up for African Player of the Year. As returning Osaka targets Paris Olympic more Grand Slam titles, as Italy's anti-doping tribunal chases 4-year ban for Pogba. Then comes Emery, refuses to label surging Villa as title contenders. Then Tottenham 1, West Ham 2, latest Spurs defeat unacceptable, says Son Heung-min. Then we shall see Ten Hag. I was told not to join Man United, but I wanted the challenge. Then unbeaten, Bayern flying under the radar ahead of a visit to Frankfurt. Then also Mercy, Argentina to face old foe Chile in Copa America.
All right, let's start with the CAF Awards.
Now, Liverpool's Egyptian striker Mohamed Salah is in line for a third African Player of the Year award. This is after being named on the shortlist, according to the Confederation of African Football. Ashraf Hakimi is also on that list, and our own Victor Osimhen. We have to just claim him properly.
Exactly. So I would say this on the list. Regardless of who else was named, if Victor Osimhen doesn't win it, we are carrying placard. It's that simple. Come December 11th, we are winning African Footballer of the Year, just basically because Victor Osimhen was the best guy, best goal scorer for his club, and then they went on to win the Scudetto. Mohamed Salah didn't have his best of season. Remember how we started and everybody was missing Sadio Mane before he came into his own form, and Sadio Mane had some problems. Ashraf Hakimi, yes, he was part of an excitable Moroccan team, but he wasn't even the best Moroccan footballer, which brings me to what I wanted to talk about. I thought Yassine Bono of Sevilla and Morocco would be in top three. And this is what I hate about when you watch football, because goalkeepers sometimes seem to be overlooked, defenders overlooked. Everybody's looking at the guys that are scoring goals or in the build up to goals, and all three guys that are listed are either goal scorers or assist makers for goals. And I think it's unfair to have dropped Yassine Bono from top three in the Footballer of the Year. Forget Goalkeeper of the Year award, that's a completely different thing. Footballer of the Year has to be can be playing on any part of the field, and Yassine Bono was the most impressive Moroccan. How did Ashraf get there before him? So those are things that we need to really look at. But regardless of the names that they've put up against Victor Osimhen, if he does,
His mother's prayers took him there.
And really mother's prayers, if we deck him, is he the only one that his mother is praying? But regardless of who the opposition is, Victor Osimhen absolutely deserves to win this. So we wait and see what the final results in. But I like the way they did the women's own. They did the best player separate. Asisat is in that one. They did the best goalkeeper separate. Chiamaka Nadozie is on that list. They did the best youngest player separate. Abiodun Deborah is on that list. Everywhere, Niger, it's just green, white, green. So we are just we are going to carry basket or sack, whichever one is safer. We're just going to go there to collect all the trophies. Hopefully we see how it will. Asisat was very good for club and country, and I mean the most iconic photo in the FIFA Women's World Cup had Asisat on it. So she better be winning that, especially after she also won Champions League with her club, won the La Liga with her club. So that's a player of the year done. Chemaka Nadozie was clearly she's up against the South African goalkeeper Ndile and the Moroccan goalkeeper. She was clearly more outstanding than both of them. So I'm just mentioning this so that they won't be quarrel on December 11th. You understand? I'm mentioning it ahead. And then Deborah Abiodun, Young Player of the Year, contestable, but she was, well, quite one of the most outstanding, barring that red card at the World Cup. So let's wait to see how all these result pan out. Again, awards is a popularity contest, but I mean, we know who should win what. So let's wait.
All right, let's move on to tennis, which I suspect might be one of Tega's favorite sports. All right, so a nervous, in quotes, Naomi Osaka has targeted a place at next year's Paris Olympics and more Grand Slam titles after she makes her eagerly anticipated return to tennis.
All right, so I don't buy that nervous. You know, she always likes to say, she say, oh, I'm so nervous. Oh, I'm so sad. Then she'll just go and do something as crazy as beating you and winning the US Open. She sold that lie a little too long, and a few people bought it. I never bought it. She's a Black Asian. She's not nervous. I can tell you for free.
Nerves of steel.
She has. I'm telling you, from the African side, from the Asian side, trust me, she has confidence, boldness, and she has the can-do spirit. But after having her baby, I think she's come back. I mean, I've seen photos of her, and she's been the one, you know, posting videos of her training, photos of her training, and I'm just like, okay, this girl is ready to take on the world. And WTA needs it. A lot of women are coming back. First of all, you know that the WTA is the wild, wild west. Anybody can literally beat anybody. But despite that, there's been one outstanding player there, Iga Swiatek, and she struggled a little bit this season. But despite her struggles, she still went home with a Grand Slam title to her name and the end of year event title. So and she got back her #1 title. So she lost it for a few weeks, and it was almost as if she just gave Sabalenka and said, could you hold this for 2 minutes? And then she came back and snatched it from her. So she's one consistent name on the tour. And if Naomi Osaka can get back to her form that helped her to get 4 Grand Slam titles already, I think that will be where the competition is. But let's wait to see, because yeah, the only person I think based on antecedents or based on history that can take out Iga Swiatek's dominance is not really Coco Gauff. She's done well at the US Open, but it's not her. It's not Sabalenka, even if she's a great player. It's Naomi Osaka. So let's see if she can get back to real form and then come again and knock Iga Swiatek off her perch. But we'll wait to see how that pans out for her in 2024.
As we allow Osaka to get us braces and rackets together, we go to France. France's World Cup winner Paul Pogba is facing the possibility of a lengthy ban after Italy's anti-doping tribunal called for a 4-year suspension for the Juventus midfielder. A club source familiar with the matter disclosed on Thursday.
All right, so they have said they already know you doped. The question is not whether you did or you didn't. The question is, now that we have finished this investigation, how do we punish you? And they're going for maximum. I've told you, don't even commit a crime while black. You know, don't try it. Don't commit a crime, period. But don't commit a crime while black. That's even worse. So they're going for the maximum, and I know some people say, yeah, they deserve this, but what the substance he took, I hear that professional footballers kind of take it to get fit quickly. So when you've had a lot of struggles with injuries, you just sneak in a little dose. Maybe he was sneaking it in too much, because remember, he was on the sidelines for too long. But whatever it is, he shouldn't have been taking it, and he was caught, and his investigation has been concluded. ABC sample, every other sample has been confirmed that he tested positive for the substance. So they're looking at 4 years. Now, Paul Pogba is, I think, 30. So if they're looking at 4 years, they're just saying retire. End of discussion. Because I don't know that he can bounce back at 34. He doesn't have the work ethic. Even if he may have the body, which he doesn't have, proven by the number of injuries he had that led to this substance taking, that has led to this situation right now. So he doesn't have the body, he doesn't have the work ethic. So if they give him 4 years, Otilo, career, end of career, he should go and start music. Sing about his time as a footballer. Anything else, it's just, I mean, they're pushing for the length. I think if he has a good representative, they can push for shorter. But whether he comes back in 2 years or he comes back in 4 years, it's a very tough road for him.
Why music, not coaching in the first place? Was just
coaching.
Yeah.
Has he finished coaching himself? I beg, just do your music, JJ. Sing and dance. Dance more like it, but sing and dance.
Okay. All right. Now, Unai Emery has refused to label Aston Villa as Premier League title contenders after his side climbed to third place, the 1-0 win against Manchester City.
All right. So they claim the 1-0 win against Manchester City. They are unbeaten at home, and next up is the elephant on the tree, Arsenal. And too many things. Unai Emery has an axe to grind. You know how he was kicked out of being the manager of Arsenal, has a point to prove. Arsenal will be under massive pressure because, like I said, the elephant's on top of the tree. They're not supposed to be there. So that alone is pressure, and it can make you nervous and make you a lot more cautious than you would have been. So it really, if you're looking out to see any matches this weekend, Aston Villa Arsenal is the match to see. They've taken points off the big teams, and Arsenal looks like the next scalp that they are going to want to take. So it's interesting to see how this will pan out. Arsenal came in this weekend, midweek, with after conceding 3 goals against Luton. So yes, they won the match, and yes, it was a dramatic finish by Declan Rice to get that header in literally the last play of the game. But you can't concede that amount of goals at Aston Villa. If Aston Villa scores 3 goals against you, Arsenal, you are losing the match. Just know. Just know that the match is gone. So I think the first thing they need to sort out is that defense, and especially who they are going to leave in goal. Again, the questions are still being asked Mikel Arteta. You brought in David Raya to replace a Ramsdale that didn't have too many problems. But David Raya so far hasn't looked like an upgrade. So what is the situation now? He created this problem by himself, for himself. So he has to resolve it of himself. And so Arsenal defensively, that will be where they need to tough it out. But I think the way the Gunners are going this season, they've pushed themselves. They've tried to outplay their opponents, and barring any dodgy refereeing decision, they can get the win. But Aston Villa is going to be a tough nut to crack. It's going to be a very tough one. As Manchester City found out, Manchester City had 2 shots at goal. 2. Erling Haaland played 2 shots at goal. Alvarez played 2 shots at goal. So with all the big names, they only had 2 shots at goal. So Aston Villa is the kind of team that can stop you from playing your game. So let's see how the Gunners run out of it. But before we do that, let's take predictions. Who do you think will win Aston Villa versus Arsenal? Give me scorelines and why. But we'll take those messages only after this quick break.
So good.
Okay, so when we come back, we'll read the numbers out for them. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh, don't you know 100,000 to pursue. No one to tell us no. Tega, now you didn't enjoy you.
Yeah.
I was saying,
I got this picture.
I was saying it.
Oh, you know we're streaming this, right? So everyone just saw you.
It's fine. So I knew I was decent. I just wanted to get your attention. So I was saying that when we come back, and then when we come back, we'll just read out the numbers to send messages to.
Right.
So that's what I was trying to do.
Okay. Unbelievable signs. Indescribable.
It's that time of year when folks everywhere bottled up or soaking still. While they keep warm in cocoa months, you'll be in South Africa sipping on sunshine cocktail. Trade this milk for warm beach sand in South Africa. The land of endless summer fun, because that's exactly what you need and deserve. And extended summer holidays in South Africa. Visit SouthAfrica.net today. It's more outside in this summer is or a journey with us. Hello, this is Jessica Saunders, and you're listening to the Smooth Breakfast Show.
It's still the locker room here on Smooth 98.1. Tega, Omas, and Zibby. Let us know what your thoughts are. We want you to send your predictions in. The WhatsApp number is 0809 440 981. You can also tweet at Smooth981. We're streaming live on YouTube. You can catch that live stream up on our YouTube channel, Smooth981.
While we wait for the messages to come, let's touch base with Tottenham Hotspur this morning as Tottenham's captain Son Heung-min called Spurs' latest defeat unacceptable and said his fellow players need to take responsibility after they dropped points from a winning position for a fifth consecutive game.
Exactly. It's almost as if Tottenham Hotspurs are sprinters, They start the race off very well, scoring. If you think of they've scored first in their last 6 matches now, and they've not won 5 of them. so it's almost as if they score first, just know that they are winning. Your ticket has cut if you put them to win. And it happened again yesterday. In fact, they were so brilliant in the first half. I think they had 15 shots on target. West Ham United had only 2. And they took their lead very, very early in the game. I think it was even before the 6th minute that they had scored a goal. And they looked like dangerous after that, time after time, but the ball never went into the back of the net. Then second half comes in and West Ham comes back into the game, and West Ham ends up winning the game by 2-1. First of all, it's a London derby, so that's a big problem. But secondly, it's a 3rd loss in a row for Tottenham at home. And you have to remember, Ange Postecoglou, like I said, won manager of the month. And since then, he hasn't won a single match. Maybe he should return the manager of the month that he was not even supposed to win. And then the curse will leave him. But it's horrible display. You can literally see the Tottenham Hotspur players getting frustrated out of their position, frustrated out of their style. And next thing you know, they look lethargic and second best to everything on the field. It happened against Manchester City, but they were able to come away with a draw in that. But this one was a complete whitewash. So it's a tough one. And I like the fact that a lot of people want to blame managers for everything because ultimately the buck stops at his desk. Yeah. But I like the fact that players are now stepping up to say we have to do better. Because yes, defensively, they have to do better. Offensively, with the chances they created, they should have scored more. How do you have 15 chances in one half and not score a goal? Then the second half, they had equal number of chances created with West Ham, which means that they dipped in form, or they dropped their urgency and they dropped their intensity, and so West Ham were able to come back into the game. So ultimately, that is on the players on the pitch at the end of the day. So yes, he should sound the rallying cry, because you can't have three consecutive losses in a row at home and think that it's only the manager that is at fault after having gotten those winning stats in the beginning of the season. So they need to turn it around quickly. Unfortunately for them, they come up against a Newcastle side this weekend on Sunday, who is also smarting from a loss to Everton yesterday too. So it's going to be tough because both teams are now desperate to get a win, anyhow. And it makes that battle even tougher for the Spurs.
All right. We have some of those predictions coming through via WhatsApp. Let's see. This one is from Fred. Fred says, Tega, Aston Villa can't stop us. We are in it to win it, whichever way you want to say it. Our defense is better. And mind you, City had just one shot on target against Arsenal. Toheeb says, good morning. I think Aston Villa will win. The advantage of playing at home, I believe, will help them. This message is from Kende. Kende says, if Raya keeps the goal, expected draw loss for Arsenal. I'm only confident of a win if Ramsdale comes back tomorrow. Arteta has really messed up this goalkeeper thing. Okay. Ralph in transit says the last time Villa lost at home, it was against Arsenal. So whatever amazing form they are is coming to a temporary halt this weekend. 2-0 in favor of Arsenal. Tayo says, if Osimhen is denied this time and compensated later, we won't accept it. Huge congrats to the Nigerians nominated this time around. I wish them the best. Paul Pogba, Christian by name, Muslim by faith, traditional worshipper by practice. I hope this potential 4-year ban isn't because he's owing his native doctor. Emery looks impressive this season, but I don't think he's a title contender. Top 4, perhaps. Real Madrid have Jude Bellingham, but Man United have Scott McTominay. All right.
Off we go now to pick up Man United issues now. Erik ten Hag is facing a turbulent second season in charge at Manchester United. The Dutchman has revealed that he was told not to take the job at Old Trafford before he assumed charge of the club. Ten Hag also says United will not spend big in January transfer window.
All right, so he's talking plenty now because they beat Chelsea. Hey, yeah, sorry, Zibby. It's you people that are giving him bragging rights. It's you people. Anyway, but yeah, a lot of people said that the Manchester United job is a poison chalice. I think that's what they call it. Don't touch it. You don't want to touch that job. But a lot of other people look at it like a challenge. Like, if I take this job that is the forbidden fruit, and I conquer here and I succeed here, it will do great things for my career. And he took the job, and it has not been rosy. Like I said, you can't even tell the color of Manchester United's problem, where it starts from. But I think what had happened was, again, I'm liking this thing of players stepping up, because the players admitted that they didn't perform very well against Newcastle. And I know everybody always likes to blame the manager. Again, this time it was the players that said, you know what, we didn't play very well against Newcastle and we're going to do better against Chelsea. And they did. From the very start of the match, you could tell they had a different level of determination and a different level of urgency. They brought it to the game. From the start of the match, they were running at Chelsea's defense. They were contesting every ball. They were trying to break up every Chelsea build-up. And they sustained that momentum from the first half to the second half. So they really put their knuckles to the ground and said, we're going to work hard and dig it and get the results we require. And that's the difference between getting the results you need and dropping points unnecessarily. Because Manchester United did not play the most brilliant football. I mean, Chelsea had chances that they could have scored, equalized, taken the victory and gone away with. Even the goal that Cole Palmer scored, it was one of the weakest goals I've seen. Dribbled a few defenders, puts the ball in the back of the net. The ball actually trickled into the back of the net. So Manchester's defense wasn't as tough or wasn't the most clinical, but they were more determined, and so they were first to every challenge. They contested every ball. They broke up every opportunity. They made it harder for Chelsea to play football, and that's just what you want to see. Once the football is not beautiful or coming together as it is, people want to see that your work rate and your determination is, putting your rivals off, not that thing that they completely laid down on the ground against Newcastle. So that was a brilliant win for Manchester United. got all 3 points, beat Chelsea, a team that has, caused trouble for a few teams this season. And then they've climbed up to 6 spots on the table. So let's see if they can sustain that against Bournemouth. Because Bournemouth is who they face this weekend. And so if they can get back-to-back results, and get a few back-to-back results from these few runs of games, then they are in a good position despite all the troubles they seem to be having.
Okay, let's go on to our live stream. Abiodun says, hello, Tega, the birthday tiger. We shouldn't be deceived with the slow start of Man City. If KDB returns, that is, he's the linchpin. Is that okay? Of that Pep engine. Mayowa says, good to have you back, President Zibby. Thank you so much, Mayowa. It's great to be back. Emeka Onelum says, if I was Paul Pogba, since he has money, now is the time to enjoy his money, Joe. Travel around the world, sunbathe himself while sipping iced tea, while singing to my as I can't keep myself. Live your best life, I beg. Aston Villa, Arsenal, 1-0. Victor Sheon says, Man U won against Chelsea because Rashford was on the bench. Okay.
Hey, God, Rashford is not scapegoat. First of all, I would say you have to remember that Paul has to live to 70 on that salary. So you cannot be traveling the world too soon. Before you get to 45 and you'll now be doing GoFundMe. All right.
Let's go over now to Germany, where reigning champions Bayern Munich have been overshadowed by Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen this season. But their hopes of a 12th straight title remain well alive as they prepare for Saturday's trip to Eintracht Frankfurt.
Yes, some pressure has been off them because at the start of the season they didn't come out of the box brilliantly. But all eyes now are on Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen. They are top of the table by 3 points. However, Bayern Munich has a game in hand. Their game over the weekend against Union Berlin was postponed due to the snow, so they have that game in hand. But the game in hand doesn't directly mean points on the board. It just means you have one opportunity more to tie. But they're slowly doing the job and slowly winning and behind the scenes without all the pressure that they usually had in previous seasons where they're at the top of the table and trying to fend everybody else off. That's Xabi Alonso's job this weekend. But yes, slowly but surely, they are building a team. However, the bosses are still not convinced by Thomas Tuchel's performance, and neither am I. Bayern Munich would not judge themselves by their performance in the Bundesliga, not necessarily. They most, in general, look at what they're doing in the Champions League. And they look at other clubs like Real Madrid, Manchester City, to see, if they are part to winning the trophy. And if they are found wanting there, then any coach can be sacked, regardless of whether you win the Bundesliga, because that's not the prize. Not that they intend to lose it, but that's not the ultimate goal. So Thomas Tuchel hasn't been really convincing, according to the management. And they're still looking to see his replacement, but it is working in his favor for him to, the more he gets wins, the longer he lasts in his job. And I think he's beginning to get the team to where he wants it to be. And because the results are following, maybe he can get that confidence back from the bosses. But yes, Bayern Munich, second on the table, not a familiar position for them, but I'm sure they are loving the less pressure, less spotlight on them.
All right, thanks for that, Tega. And let's move on to Lionel Messi and Argentina, who will get the chance to avenge their defeats to Chile in the 2015 and 2016 Copa America finals. They've been grouped with their old rivals in the draw for next year's tournament on Thursday.
All right, so I don't think it will be revenge because those guys denied you a trophy in the final. Beating them in the group stage is not revenge. There's no trophy at the end. You want to beat them in the final and collect back your trophy. That's when revenge is complete. But yes, the Copa America draws are out, and Argentina and Chile are in the same group. Not easy, but the Copa America has been expanded to 16 countries. And some of those countries are from North America. So yeah, it's literally Copa America. I think what was interesting about next year is all the all the things that are happening next year. Next year is the Euros. Next year is the Olympics. Next year is AFCON. Next year is WAFCON. And then Copa America. If you watch football, your eyes will bleed. That's all I can say because there's everything happening in 2024.
All right. Let's take a few more messages. Shagun says, no matter the form United are in, as long as it's the team's top 10, as long as it's team top 10. All right. This one is from, I can't see a name here, but it says, morning, Princess Tega, Zibby, and Omatseye. The competition ends tomorrow. All right. Okay, this was the message, the invite you got last on Wednesday.
Oh, flag football.
Yes,
We should
the
have
one you were
them
telling me
in
about.
Yes, we should have them in on Monday. You know what? It's on Sunday, so I'm definitely. Is it tomorrow or Sunday?
The competition says it ends tomorrow, Saturday. Matches start at 10 a.m. The finals would probably be around noon.
Oh, okay. So I should find my way there.
All right, and tell us how it went. Well, you can come and pick me up. I don't have petrol.
We'll walk around that. All right. So that note, thank you so much for sending in your messages to WhatsApp. Thank you for sending in your messages to YouTube, and thank you for watching us and tuning into the locker room. To meet again on Monday. Zibby, Omatseye?
Yeah, Tega, have a great one. Bye.
Stay with us. There's a lot more to come on the Smooth Breakfast.